Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
I ain't even put you in the right place. What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. We are proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield and VNB Auto Centres. And I am, of course, Jimmy. And again, last minute rushing round, just finished work. Then I had to throw some tea down my neck. But we're back, and we're back for our Patreon subscribers, our higher tier YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. You are getting this live, which no greater example than what I've just shown you there. It'll also be released for those into the wild for the rest of the people out there, subscribers and similar, tomorrow at around 6 o'clock, which is what we've been doing with these videos. So thank you for joining me. We won't be here long because, and I say this most of the time, and I've stuck to it, to be fair, because I've just put up another ramble for tonight, 8:30. So if you're watching this and you're not a Patreon subscriber, you're not watching it live, then it'll have been last night that I live at 8:30 on Thursday, the 11th of July, if you like. So yeah, we're going live tonight at 8:30. Myself, Man Mountain, Dave the Nose Leary, Muscles Marsden, talking, is it right that Blades are panicking at the minute? Is it right? Have we got a right to be panicked about what's going on at the club? And join me there for that, because that's going to be good. But for now, we're looking at strikers, the Hollywood position, the one that everybody wants to talk about. I'll be honest, it's got more difficult the longer this has gone, the longer this series has gone, because I had people like Bobby Decordova-Reid in here, and he's gone to Leicester. There's other players that I'd already had on this list that have gone, that have made the move, and we can't include them anymore because we've got to keep it current despite the prep work that's gone in. So without any further ado, I'm going to get started. This is the freebies list, if I haven't already mentioned that. So these are the players that are available on a free transfer tomorrow. If it's tomorrow that we get to release one, yeah, it'll be tomorrow. We are looking at realistic targets for Sheffield United in the striker department, which has taken a hit today because I had Kiefer Moore on the list. Just cards on the table, but there you go. And then probably be next week, we'll be looking at ideal striker targets for Sheffield United. But tonight, we're on the freebies. And the first one, like, slim pickings in the free transfer market at the minute. So don't judge me on a couple of these picks. And I understand you may do with the first couple of these. First one I'm going to go for is Andreas Weimann. We know all about him. He's 32 years old, 524 career appearances, 119 goals. 119 goals sounds good, but it's not a great return. He's not a prolific goal scorer, if you like. He's more a supporting striker, I would say, than a clinical number 9. On loan at West Brom last season, played 12 games, 4 goal involvements. He's always been good at this level. And I think the one thing that sort of stands out about him more than anything is he's played the majority of his career in the Premier League or the Championship. He's one of these players, he falls into what's probably known as the Snodgrass category, where he seems to always turn up and play really well against Sheffield United. Obviously, we remember that time he got the hat-trick against us. It's just, yeah, he's one of them players that's a bit of a thorn in our side. I think he's maybe not what we're looking for in terms. I think we need more of a number 9 figurehead type striker, which I'll come on to later in the list, really. But I think he is a useful operator at this level, and with the slim pickings that we've got in terms of free and available strikers, experienced head that goes well with the youngsters. I don't think it's a bad shout on a free transfer, but he's certainly nowhere near the top of my list. So moving on, pick number 4. Tyrese Campbell. How much does he look like his dad in this photo, by the way? Obviously, Tyrese has Just lost his dad, Kevin Campbell, which is terrible for anybody, obviously. And thoughts and prayers to his family. It's a 24-year-old striker. He's not as prolific as I thought he was. You always look at him and think, decent player, looks a threat. He got 3 goals in 23 games last season. You can see there 179 career appearances, 41 goals, but that includes a spell on loan at Shrewsbury where he got 5 of those goals at Shrewsbury in League One. Tyrese Campbell, the major thing going in his favour is his age and the fact that he's another potential player that can come into his prime. I don't know, in all honesty, whether he'd do the business for us. But when you compare him alongside what we've got currently, would you have him up there instead of Asula? Probably. And Asula's probably our second main striker at the moment. So because of how thin our current squad is, I think there maybe is a place for him. But then we start to look at players who really would make a difference to our side, in my opinion. So number 3, I'm going with is Divin Mubama. Now, I can't pretend to have seen an awful lot of Divin, but we've heard a lot about him and I've read a lot about him because we were linked with him back in January on loan from West Ham. Really exciting youth prospect. Plays more of a right forward type role, but left-footed, comes in onto his left-hand side from what I've read. The Athletic have previously written about him, saying a talent at West Ham can't afford to lose. Well, they've let him go on a free transfer. He scored and assisted in 2 UEFA Conference League appearances for West Ham last season. He's only played 103 Premier League minutes. But as you can see there by his record at youth level, and we know youth level isn't always the best barometer because we've been stung before by Will Asula and others, but 86 youth appearances, and this is at the top youth level, remember, for West Ham. 56 goals, 7 assists, really strong record. So on a free transfer, 19 years old, absolute no-brainer for me that. I appreciate his adding to the younger crop that we've already got, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I can't decide which one of these to put top of the list. No, in fact, I'm gonna switch it around. I'm gonna switch it around, and I'm gonna go with. So it's not gonna be a big. I would have spoilt it for you with the thumbnail. So second on my list, I'm gonna go with now is Iheanacho, however you say his name, of Leicester City. Kelechi Iheanacho, I'm going with. 27 years old, 196 Premier League games, 42 goals and 25 assists. That's 20, obviously 67 goal involvements. Cost Leicester 12 million quid from Man City. Not bad pedigree, that. And I think at Championship level, if given a consistent run in the team, which he didn't necessarily get last season, would be absolutely lethal. Now, I don't know for a fact because he needs to prove that, but I think Iheanacho, however you say his name, I'm confident he can do a job for us at Championship level. And as you've seen there, I was dilly-dallying as to whether he was going to be my number 1 choice or not. I think if I'm being honest with myself, he probably would be. But coming in at my new number 1, just pipping Iheanacho, and look away now, my own father, because the player on a free transfer, I think Sheffield United would most benefit from up front this season, Ollie McBurney. It's not a bit that I'm doing. It's not and listen, I've been honest on this channel and I'll continue to be so. I'm not a huge McBurney fan. Maybe I was trolling a little bit, putting him top at list. Maybe he's second on my list, in all honesty. But Ollie McBurney on a free transfer, if you can get his wages down a little bit, which I know we've been trying to do, 28 years old, not the best goal return, as we know, not the best fitness return, as we know. If we look beyond the original fee of 20 million quid, he has he has been a decent servant for United. I think he's that £20 million figure has been a noose round his neck since he signed, and he's been judged against that figure for the entire time he's been a Blade, and that's been tough. And he's a bit of a Marmite character. Some really like him. Some think he's a bit of a fool. Some think he's a bit of a gangster wannabe in terms of acting tough on the pitch. Others think he's just sticking up for his teammates and wants to get stuck in and do what he can. You know, he's a bit of a maverick, isn't he? No shin pads or small shin pads, low socks. Yeah, Marmite is probably the best way to describe him. And the fact that he's a striker that costs so much money and isn't prolific, I can see where some arguments come from. His style, which I try and defend, but got furious about myself last season, where he looks quite lethargic. I understand he's been injured at times, but I don't buy that he's always injured. And if he is, then there's a problem there. I just think, though, on a free, he knows the club inside out. He knows a lot of the existing players. It's an absolute no-brainer to get him back. In his career, he's played 316 games and got 106 goals. It's not a bad return overall. For me, he's clearly not a Premier League striker, but we don't need that at the moment. We need a striker that's going to do a job for us at this level and help us get out of the division. So that is why I'm going for Ollie McBurney. That is my top 5 strikers on frees. And I understand that some of those names aren't wow names, but if you had a look at what's available on free transfers at the minute, it's nothing. And I wonder if that's a reflection of the market right now in terms of how it's going to be going forward. Because there's just not a lot of movement in the market at all. So it's been an interesting list to compile. I have got a list of realistic strikers today, and spoiler, I'm going to have to revisit that because one of them is almost signing for Hull City, from what I understand. So he'll have to come off the list. Again, that's the situation we're in. It's ever moving parts into it. So let me know what you think about it. I'm going to read some comments now, and then I'll be seeing you all, hopefully, at 8:30 this evening when we talk about, have Sheffield United fans, is it right that we're panicking at the moment? Should we start to be getting concerned? We'll see. We'll see where we get. Steve Holmes, good evening, pal. You kicked us off. What about loaning Neil Maupay from Everton? I like it, mate. I like it. I like it as a move. I like it as a potential realistic signing. So that might be one for tomorrow's video. I'm a big fan of Maupay. He's expensive, so that might put us off in the first instance because we'd have to throw a lot of money at it. He's not been prolific last few seasons, but I still think there's a player in there. I'd love to have Neil Maupay in the red and white. It's a bit of a S-house as well, isn't it? Which we do enjoy. Man Mountain, we need better than Andy Vyman, mate. I know we do. Tyrese, 3 and 23 is not exciting. Slim pickings here, Jimmy. It is, mate. It is. That's exactly what it is. If you can come up with any others, I'm happy to consider them, but I have scoured. We're too late in the video, in releasing the video, to have your players like Bobby Reed and other players like that have gone on frees that would have been included. A punt on lowish wages isn't an awful shout, but we've got good prospects ourselves. We have, yeah, and you don't want them blocking the pathway, do you, for any of ours. Evening, Jimmy. Was just about to post. If you're going to go in for a 1 in 4 striker on a free, why not McBurney? I've been struggling for ideas for realistic and available striker ideas myself. It's tough, mate. It's tough. I always thought this was going to be the easiest one, but it's easy to name ideal strikers. Of course, we all know what strikers we'd have in an ideal world, but those that are actually available, particularly on a free, not easy. Not easy. I can say we see a young lad like Mabama, therefore, being a logical choice. Yeah, I agree. I think out of the list, he's achievable, isn't he? Ian, good evening, pal. I like Iheanacho, but think he would be on high wages, but I do like him, and he will be my choice. Just like to hear you say his name. Like and subscribe up the Ramble. Thank you, pal, and thanks for the stitch. The stitch up. Evening, Jim. Hope you're good. I'm good, thank you, mate. Hope you are too. Some things up at the minute. Players you've been calling out on all vids, now at other clubs. Hope we just don't start missing out. Campbell, a no for me. Slim pickings, up the Blades, up the Ramble. That just, I think, if anything, it highlights what sort of market we're looking in, doesn't it? And we're having to operate in. So, like Steve suggests at start, it will be loans. We will be looking at players on loan, whether it's established players to the level of Morpay, and obviously Kiefer Moore had been mentioned previously. That might now be dead in the water by the looks of it. Ian Atcho coming at you. Oh, what's that? What's that? Cleopatra. Cleopatra coming at you. Nice, nice. I'm not sure we can squeeze that into a song, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough, guys and gals, but I appreciate everybody that's joined me tonight on this freebies video. And again, if you know of any suggestions that would be better fits, and I'm sure there are some, I just couldn't find them, you let me know. But that just, again, shows the playing field that we're operating in at the minute. So thank you, everybody, for your time this evening. Another quick one for us. Another Patreon and higher tier YouTube exclusive. Appreciate everybody's time. And as I say, join us later on the Ramble for our live debate with Man Mountain, Dave the Nose Leary, Muscles Marsden. Is it right that we're panicking at the moment or starting to get a little bit edgy? Or do we just need to chill and trust the process? Join us and have your say a bit later on. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blade.